Bucket naked.
Please hit the gym. Please hit the gym, and the pH needs to be balanced as well.
I've been drinking. Can't keep your eyes off right now.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to JLerone Presents. I'm your host, JLerone. Listen, as you see in the title and the thumbnail, the Officer Tatum went on to speak with Stephen A. Smith, and he had some choice words to say when it came to D.L. Hughley. And as we know, D.L. Hughley is supposedly a pro-black D9, and he's one of the ones who, kind of tried to get black folks to vote for Kamala. And when black folks didn't, he had a fit. He threw a hissy fit about, why black folks should be voting for her. And if you don't, you racist. If you go for Trump, you racist. Or if you on the side of Trump, you ain't black, and all this yada, 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 whatever. Yeah, so we're going to get into Brandon Tatum, Officer Tatum, as he talks, gives his views and his takes on D.L. Hughley. And, basically a lot of the pro-blacks, they want to go with the white and black narrative when black folks are doing more harm in the community, but nobody talks about that. The pro-blacks don't like to talk about that. D.L. Hughley types don't want to talk about that, right? They want to go with the black and white narrative because it gets folks riled up in their emotions, and they can benefit from that. But as you're going to hear Officer Tatum talk, he's going to, discuss that as well. So let's go ahead and get into it. Hit the like button, subscribe, share. That helps the channel grow. All right. Fair use. And let's go ahead and get into it.
Joining me now to discuss this is a conservative political commentator, an author, a radio personality, and he has a strong following on YouTube. By the way, I think it's escalated over 3.4 million subscribers, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. He's a former college football player and former police officer who is the host of the hit show, The Officer Tatum. Please welcome Brandon Tatum, a.k.a. The Officer Tatum, to the Stephen A. Smith Show. What's up, big time? How are you, man? Nice to finally meet you. How's everything?
I'm blessed, man. God is good, man, and I'm really excited to talk to you.
Man, please, the pleasure is all mine, man. Even though, listen, there have been times when you've been critical of me. It's okay. I can take it. Damn it, if I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. It's no big deal, right? But before I even get into this interview, I need you to tell me, why do people try you physically? I mean, I just pointed out that you're a football player, former football player, police officer, but yet you got some fools out there that be trying you physically. I could understand if they came at me. What the hell are they thinking about coming at you?
Oh, man, Stephen A., really, to be honest, in public, people never say anything to me. A couple non-binaries on the campus of UC Davis decided to lose their mind, which I bet they will never do that again. However, most people, when they see me in person, they realize I'm 6'2", 280. They don't want nothing to do with me.
I would imagine so. Let me get to a more civilized situation right now because obviously you heard me a little bit earlier talking about D.L. Hughley. And before I ask you about him, I wanted to make sure you heard exactly what he had to say in the aftermath of Saquon Barkley, the star running back for the Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles, electing to go to the White House, and what D.L. Hughley had to say about him or anybody else who happens to be black that would think about going to the White House. Listen to D.L. Hughley talking on TMZ earlier. Check this out.
14 players said, I'm going to boycott this. Whose side are you on?
I think that it's not just political. What Donald Trump has done and is doing to black history is unsavory and is undeniable. Donald Trump is deliberately trying to erase black people's history for whatever quest. He's elevating Christopher Columbus again. So he deliberately is doing things to black people that isn't just political. And any black man that does it is going to obviously catch some level of heat. When a black person does it, when it's a black person, I can always tell what kind of black person. I can always tell what they are.
Whoa. Wait, what does that mean, DL?
Saquon Barkley, he had a girlfriend that threw around the N-word a lot and said she wasn't a gold digger and she wasn't messing with no broke N-words. He looks like that kind of guy that.
And she said that when she was, 13, right? She was a teenager. But, this is what they do. They throw this shit out. They, bring up stuff that's irrelevant that happened years ago. Has nothing to do with what's happening now. From what I understand, that girl hasn't tweeted or put anything on Instagram or any type of, social media post that's anywhere close to what she was saying back when she was a teenager.
Is indifferent to what black people go through. It's just true. And I think I've noticed that to be consistent with a lot of black people who show up. They have a shoe booty affect to them.
You heard what D.L. Hughley had to say right there. You are a Republican. You have been on the record. You are a supporter of Donald Trump. You heard what D.L. Hughley had to say. Your thoughts?
First of all, D.L. Hughley has been historically one of my favorite comedians. I love D.L. Hughley, but I don't know what he didn't done. I don't know, he bumped his head or something, but he has lost his mind. And it's a shame that he has to go down the path of racism. I've met Donald Trump several times. I've been to the White House several times. Actually, Donald Trump met my dad at a UFC fight not too long ago, and my dad didn't even vote for Trump. So Donald Trump isn't what they're projecting him to be, but also the racism that exists amongst black people. Why is D.L. Hughley, who claimed to be a pro-black man, hating and talking down on another brother? Just because you decide to love a woman that happen to not be black don't mean you're a sellout and you don't understand the black struggle. And Saquon Barkley, who's a rational adult, who wants to play football and enjoy his life and don't have to have a problem with Donald Trump because everybody said he does. I mean, he went and golfed with Donald Trump. He was flying on a, Marine One with Donald Trump. What's the problem with that? Unless you're a racist and you hate white people, you shouldn't have a problem with a brother loving a white person or a brother supporting a president just for the sake of him being the commander in chief. And D.L. Hughley just, he bothers me so much because I just don't like what he says about black people. Generally speaking, but I can go on forever about it.
Right. So I guess every black person that went to the White House from the Philadelphia Eagles, they sell outs, right? Oh, especially if you happen to be a black man that's married to a white woman. Oh, you definitely a sellout, right? Not that they just went just because they wanted to go because they were invited by, the president of the United States. Nah, damn that. It's because it's Trump. And if you black and you go, then you ain't black no more. Bullshit.
What did you think about what he had to say as it pertained to Trump and the administration essentially trying to eradicate black history? Basically, whatever initiatives, executive orders, there's a lot of things that we can point to that people have believed that's what he was doing. What do you make of that and what Trump has done since he's been in office?
I think it's absolutely asinine to suggest that Donald Trump is trying to erase black history. That's the craziest thing ever. D.L. Hughley don't have any evidence whatsoever to make a claim like that, other than having Trump derangement syndrome. Donald Trump in his first term, he gave permanent funding to HBCUs. Donald Trump literally had every HBCU president in the Oval Office talking to them about things that they can do to improve black universities. Donald Trump.
And those guys were called bootlickers because they was in there talking to Trump.
operation zones, and I mean, you can go down the list and all the things that he's done that help in the black community. The people that have been a part of his administration. Is Byron Donalds a sellout? Is Clarence Thomas a sellout? I mean, all of these other
Some people
that
would
are
say
very
Clarence Thomas,
successful.
though. Officer Tatum, some people would say that about Clarence Thomas. They do feel like Clarence Thomas has been one of those individuals that has no interest in pushing forth black causes at all. That has been said about him for decades. Long before Donald Trump came along.
And it's because of black people who inherently are in their consciousness are racist individuals, because they don't like Clarence Thomas because he got a white woman. But let me tell you this. I bet you $1 million you won't see D.L. Hughley talking about Bubba Wallace, the NASCAR driver that did the fake hoax with the noose. You'd never hear him talk about him because he's willing to say all this activist stuff that he's not really believing in. But he got a white woman. So D.L. Hughley is inconsistent with his projection against black people. I'll just say this. Black people cannot exist in America isolating themselves in a cocoon with other black people who, to be honest, hate on them more than white people do. And D.L. Hughley is a perfect example of it. Why won't you uplift your brothers? Why won't you celebrate the brothers that got invited to the White House that won the Super Bowl? Why wouldn't you? Because you just don't like Donald Trump. And I guarantee you would never hear D.L. Hughley say anything negative about Donald Trump before he became a Republican president.
Nope.
That's why I don't have no respect for these dudes. And then I'll tell you this, Stephen A. They don't never.
As long as Trump, if Trump would have ran on the Democratic ticket, they would love him. They would love him. When nobody say nothing bad about Trump if he would have ran as a Democrat.
Talk about the thugs in our community. They never talk about the problems. I mean, consistently.
They
talk
don't.
about the ailments that are in our community. Talk about.
You got black folks out here shooting each other up. You got all these gremlins out here just terrorizing the neighborhood, breaking in the stores and causing all this damage and everything, fighting in the streets, fighting in Walmart, fighting in McDonald's. Nobody says anything about that. But the minute a white person gets involved, then here they come. But they don't give a damn if black folks destroy each other. They don't care about that. They want to get on your emotions with the black-white scenario.
Abortions that go on in our community higher than anywhere else in the country. They don't talk about the murder rate in our community that's higher than anywhere else in the country. They don't talk about the education system that has failed black people. They don't talk about these politicians that put illegal aliens before they put black people. Look at Brandon Johnson in Chicago. Billions of dollars spent on illegal aliens, won't spend a dime on black folks.
Won't say nothing about these black politicians who are on the side of these immigrants. You know what I'm saying? All these black politicians caping for these immigrants. Don't want them to be deported. Ain't nobody saying nothing about that shit. They don't say nothing about that. You got Letitia James being indicted or something. You got all these black politicians getting in trouble for laundering money. Tiffany Henyard, Fannie Willis down in Georgia. You got all these black politicians getting in so much fucking trouble, but ain't nobody talking about that.
Look at Barack Obama. He came from Chicago. Can't name me not one policy that benefited black folks, especially not in Chicago.
Not one.
But D.L. Hughley won't talk about these brothers. They won't talk about these hoodwinking snake oil salesmen that are acting like they're activists. For instance, Reverend Al Sharpton. These people are the most disingenuous individuals I've ever seen in my life.
Baiters.
They can go on a boycott of Target, not realizing that there's black people that got product in Target. So why would you boycott Target and in the black communities where black people work at the Target? How about we stop wasting energy being victims and start supporting black people? Have a march to support black businesses, where we spend our money in black businesses, where we put our money in black banks, where we send our kids to black universities. Stephen A., you know why you would never see them do that? Because they wouldn't dare put their money in a black bank. They wouldn't dare send their kids to black universities. And D.L. Hughley and the rest of them won't dare live in a black neighborhood. Ask Stephen A. where he live at. I guarantee you, we look it up, he live around a number of white folks. So this is why I don't believe these people and why they're detrimental to black people in America.
And he had more to say. Like I said, if y'all want to, you can go check it out on the Officer Tatum's show. He has the full interview. Stephen A. has the full interview on his channel. He talked more about DL and the things that what DL don't talk about versus what DL will talk about. And a lot of it is they just want you to get in your feelings and your emotions. Everything's racism. Everything is the white person's holding the black person down. And like I said, he won't talk about what black folks are doing to each other, to themselves, to the community, how they're hurting the community. And none of that gets talked about. Okay, so yeah, if you guys go ahead, man, hit the like button, drop some comments down below and let me know what y'all think. All right, yeah, like, subscribe, share. That helps the channel grow. Please be good to yourselves by all means. Let's be good to one another, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.
Buck you naked.
Please hit the gym. Please hit the gym, and the pH needs to be balanced as well.
I've been drinking.